Some things in life just feel special from the moment you start them. From the moment they come out, there's something about them that sets those things apart from the rest of their kind. Whether it be a book, movie, or a video game, these things have a certain vibe to them. A familiar feeling. A feeling that we will all be talking about for the next 20 years. All those things put together are what some people will consider an instant classic. Hi, my name is Travis, and you clicking on this video, that's what's up. In today's video, I want to talk about a game that I've been excited to play for the past 5 years. That game is Capcom's Pragmata. Now, I didn't know what to expect before playing this game, and I didn't even know I was going to make a video on it, but once I got going in the game, then I knew I was playing something special. And then it came to me. So, what I want to talk about is more or less kind of a review of Pragmata, but for the most part, it's why I think Pragmata is indeed an instant classic. I think the best way to start looking at any game is the gameplay. I mean, it's one of the main reasons why you play video games in the first place. In Pragmata's case, the gameplay is so unique and different from anything I've ever played. And it's not just your run of the mill third person shooter. Combining Diana's hacking and Hugh's gunplay is just such a cool mechanic. The balance of it all is very nice as well. I like how neither one of them outshines the other. And if you're trying to just shoot or just hack, you can get the job done, but it's going to take you a hell of a lot longer to kill even the most basic enemy. It's cool that they integrated that into the story as well, which I'll talk about a little bit more here in a minute. But nevertheless, getting through tougher enemies is going to be more of a pain, and you can forget about defeating any bosses. Since we're on the topic of bosses, I gotta say, I love the boss fights. I'm sure there are similar bosses in other games, but I feel like Pragmata does them in a way that feels unique. You can tell the devs really put thought and effort on making each fight feel different. It's not as simple as just shooting until they're dead either. All the fights make you think differently on how to get through each boss. You'll use different strats on each boss, and some the complete opposite of what you're thinking. One cool thing about this game that's different but it works so well is it makes you think. There's so much variety in enemy types, and they hit you with a lot of them at once, so you're constantly thinking about how you're gonna go about fighting them. Now, that being said, it's not the type of thinking that's going to get annoying or overwhelming. It's the type of thinking that is fun. It's the type of thinking that you want to have when playing a game. A lot of games today kind of just feel mindless and you're just kind of running through to the end. A big reason why I think Pragmata is an instant classic is because it doesn't feel like that. It actually allows the player to think and be engaged throughout the whole game. I said how there's a variety of enemies and different strategies on how to deal with them. And in those options, there are so many weapons and different items at your disposal to kill enemies. There's kind of a class system in Pragmata. There's different mods you can have, kind of like perks in Call of Duty multiplayer, that helps you out in either hacking or gunplay. Also, there are many hacking nodes for Diana to go through combat with. All these things together can make each person's experiences with Pragmata unique, and it adds so much more replayability. Once again, these are reasons why I think Pragmata is an instant classic, because it allows for this community with friends to talk about games like we used to. Having replayable, easy to grasp gameplay that is a unique experience and adds to the community, there's no reason why you wouldn't consider Pragmata an instant classic. But the gameplay is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that I want to talk about, so much more that builds Pragmata as more than just a flavor of the month, that puts it in a class with the elite games of the nature that I'm claiming. Which brings me to my next section. Pragmata's story just feels good. Of course, there are probably similar stories out there, but that just adds to the familiar feeling Pragmata has, which I will talk about more here in a minute. It would be hard to talk about the story without bringing up Hugh and Diana's dynamic. Diana's dynamic. Try saying that 5 times fast. Damn. But it is really cool how they are put in a situation where they need each other for multiple reasons. One is what I was mentioning earlier with the gameplay and how it would be impossible to kill any enemies. Another being how they need each other for emotional support. Diana with being alone, but also with Hugh dealing with his loss of his crewmates. It's interesting to me how they both find something in each other as well, which both of those things kind of coincides with their character arc. At first, Hugh says he doesn't want kids, and as he goes along, he begins to see Diana more and more as his kid. Also struggling with the loss of his crew, he gains companionship through Diana, so he's not feeling so lonely. Slowly, his goal goes from getting back home to making sure Diana gets to see Earth. When it comes to Diana, she doesn't know her purpose and who she is at all. Later, she begins to realize that her purpose was to help Dr. Higgins figure out a cure for his daughter, which she failed to do so, and ultimately finds out that she's useless with no purpose. But through her time with Hugh, she gains love and life lessons, and she realizes her new purpose is to live a fulfilling life. It's an easy story to understand, and the characters feel like they could be real people. My brother-in-law has a niece that acts just like Diana. They nailed her kidisms, for the lack of a better word. Hugh, though having his quips here and there, just feels like a regular dude in his situation. There's been a character type recently with two serious battle-hardened main characters with no emotion, and I don't know where it came from. Probably in the direction of deer.
What are we hunting?
You are hunting deer.
Which way?
In the direction of deer.
But nevertheless, it's nice to see that Hugh is not like that. The way he explains his life on Earth is refreshing, and you can tell he loves his job and loves his life. He sees beauty in things, and he's lived a fulfilling life. Once again, bringing it back to the theme, a great way to become a classic is having a great story. Pragmata has just that. It's relatable. It has characters that feel real, multiple messages throughout, and it has a sad yet fulfilling ending that does not need more, but it makes you want more, and there's plenty of room for it. This whole time, I've been mentioning that Pragmata has similar things to it, like the story and gameplay that either has been done before or just kind of feels familiar. And a lot of the time, that wouldn't sound like a good thing. It leads to people thinking that you're copying something and just not being original, but not in Pragmata's case. I think it's a good thing that the game feels familiar. All the things that it may copy, it does in a way that just works. It kind of improves on those familiar formulas as well, which is a hard thing to say in today's world when everything seems like it's already been done. For example, the third-person shooter gameplay, it adds to it by adding the hacking system, and it also adds an enemy variety, making you think more. I think the story is improved on by adding an actual twist that personally I didn't see coming, and an ending that isn't that fairy tale ending, and it just makes the game feel more realistic. Something I was consistently saying while playing Pragmata is that it feels familiar. And not just with the story and gameplay, but to me it feels like one of those games that you would play on PS3, PS2, or even PS4. It reminds me of those games that I would play as a kid, and it sort of gives me that nostalgic feeling. I really think it's cool because that tells me Pragmata is going to be a staple for the PS5. just like those games for the consoles beforehand. The type of games that you would go to school and talk about with your friends, whether you were excited for the release or just excited to talk about playing it. There are a few games for the PS5 that I have that feeling, and the fact that Pragmata already feels like that, having just come out, shows that it's going to be an instant classic. In fact, I think Pragmata is going to be one of those games that we talk about in 20 years when we're remembering the classic games for the PS5. I think we're going to get to the 5th or 6th installment of this game and tell our kids that we remember when the first one came out. I think that if you can get that feeling of the past and see the future in something that's in the present, it's just another thing that has the making for an instant classic.
Do you remember?
I think Pragmata proves itself as an instant classic. It has gameplay that sets it apart from the rest that it's like. It improves on formulas in that gameplay and in its story, which the story has easy to understand messages, themes, relatable and real characters. It feels unique for what it is, but familiar to what has come before it. Personally, I believe it has a bright future and legs to stand on as a staple for modern consoles and generations to come. With all that in mind, there should be no reason that Pragmata wouldn't be considered an instant classic. At the end of the day, we are drawn to the familiar. We want to see something different. We want to feel connected to something. We just want to feel in general. Everybody wants to experience something special in their life. We chase that feeling of fullness, that feeling of fulfillment. We experience these feelings and things through other people or just seeing the world or, in some cases, the moon and stars. We gain fullness through love and companionship, through entertainment and life. In many ways, you can look at each person as a classic. You become an instant classic the second you are born. Doesn't matter when it was, is, or will be. Life is an instant classic. My name is Travis. Remember to praise God and have a good one.
The beach side that we walked along. Now I can feel how